After 4, it can only mean one thing. It means during football season, we're going to the Farm Bureau phone line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau, to visit with our good friend Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports Online. You can find them at paramountsports.com. Lee, how'd the opening week go?
It was good. We were 6-5 overall. Okay. I had probably the worst beat of the weekend and then the luckiest beat. Okay. So I had my luckiest beat. How about this one? I had Texas A&M. You see the end of that game where they fumbled and threw an interception, and the kicker, I think it was Kent State, he hooked a 23 or 24 yarder wide left, and then the last play of the game, after A&M threw an interception on fourth down, he ended up hitting the right goalpost and bounced back. So that was my lucky win,
so
and then my unlucky
side
win.
Of things there.
Yeah, and I don't know if you were following the Rice game. Rice against Arkansas, they're up going into the fourth quarter. I'm getting 19.5 points. Quarterback 3 the last 4 possessions, throws interceptions, and they lose by 21. So pretty much evened out.
Yeah. Hey, I know this is not the way you go about things, but did you see the story about the guy that bet $10 and did the 14-team parlay where he bet all unders and cashed an $80,000 ticket?
No, I didn't see that one.
14 unders.
Wow.
Including with under 75.5 on Ole Miss Louisville on Monday night to win all 14 legs of the parlay.
That's incredible. I did not hear that one. I mean, I read them usually. You see something like every other week someone does that, and obviously rooting for someone like that to cash a ticket. But he probably has a stack of losing tickets that will go probably from the floor all the way up to halfway up the room.
Yep. There may be 8,000 of those $10 losing tickets that net him even with the $80,000 win. All right, let's jump, Lee, into some of the games this week, and let's start with the NFL opener. Tampa Bay and Dallas may have had a little movement in the line. Looks like it's settled, at 9?
Yeah.
Tampa Bay is a 9-point favorite over the Cowboys. That's a big line in the NFL.
It is, and I think part of it is Zach Martin. I don't know if we've ever seen an offensive lineman move a line a point and a half, but I think that's part of it. I think the public also is a little skittish, and where is Dak Prescott? It's got to be tough for him. I know he's practicing to step on the field after a broken right ankle and then also an arm problem and play at a high level against. This is the first time we've seen a Super Bowl contender return all 22 starters since 1977. Now, Super Bowl winners have had trouble traveling the first game, but when they're at home in week 1, how about this stat? They're 18-2 straight up, 14-4-2 against the spread here. I like the move of Dan Quinn bringing him in as defensive coordinator for Dallas, but I don't think all of a sudden he can cure giving up 34 touchdown passes like they did last year. That back end is really weak here. I think Tampa Bay in what could be surprisingly a sluggish game after both teams really didn't play their starters all preseason. I think they win 28-17. I have a slight lean to Tampa Bay here.
Do you mess with the total? I think it's sitting at 51.5.
Yeah, I think
that score prediction certainly looks like the under.
Yeah, I like the under best. Gave it out to my clients.
There you go. Green Bay and New Orleans, that's one of certainly local interest. A home game for New Orleans in Jacksonville. We had all the drama with Aaron Rodgers, new quarterback in Nola with Jameis Winston. What are we doing here?
So I thought this line was going to open up after being 3 in New Orleans, 6, 7 maybe in Jacksonville. So last time Aaron Rodgers went to an empty Superdome, he put up 37 points, and he didn't even have Devontae Adams. Now he gets to go to Jacksonville. It's going to be dead there. I mean, there'll be a lot more Green Bay fans.
So kind of like a Jags game.
Right, yeah. And most people will be in the pool that they have at that stadium. No Drew Brees for the first time. That'll be weird. And I just think that the New Orleans Saints cornerbacks maybe the worst in the NFL, if not in the bottom three. So I know the Packers will be without their best lineman, but they upgraded themselves in every other position here on offense and defense. And no Michael Thomas for New Orleans. They're not going to get many quick scores here. I like Green Bay, 34-23.
34-23, Green Bay covering comfortably with that 4-point number. All right, let's switch to college. There is we've talked about it. NC State, Mississippi State, we believe, is a big game for both of these teams.
Yep.
Opened it even, moved in the favor of NC State. Mississippi State ekes one out against Louisiana Tech. NC State just boat races a bad USF team last week.
Right.
Feel like it's a tight game. What do you think?
So I think that Will Rogers is going to have to really be on. They don't have much quarterback depth. He can't just switch quarterbacks if one's not doing well. That could be a problem. NC State, they may not have anyone drafted in the top 3 rounds of the draft, but they just have a lot of good players, and they're playing well together. So I never really feared North Carolina State in the past off a good year, felt that they were always going to fall on their face, but they're solid. They don't beat themselves. Maybe the bloom's off Mike Leach. How about this? 9-18 against the spread his last 27 as a head coach here. And like I said, I don't think North Carolina State's going to beat themselves. You have maybe 2 teams that are 2 years difference as far as putting together the roster. I think North Carolina's roster is put together well. And Mike Leach in year 2 with all those defections, he's probably at least a couple years away from putting it together. So it scares me. No running game here. For once, I don't do this often. I'm going with the ACC over the SEC. I like the Wolfpack here, 31-23.
31-23. An NC State team that in its history has one road win against an SEC team ever.
Yep.
Saying they maybe get their second this week. I feel like because of who these teams are, the game is flying below the radar a little bit. Kentucky, Missouri is a big deal. And Kentucky's a 5-point favorite at home. They look pretty good in the debut of Will Levis last week. What do you think?
Yeah, you don't want to lay more than a touchdown with Kentucky because what do? If they get a lead, they sit on it. I mean, they used to run the Wildcat whenever they had more than a 7-point lead. They got backdoored left and right. But times have changed. Will Levis can throw the football. They have not had a passer probably going back almost a decade now. Their running back, slashing Chris Rodriguez, is someone to be reckoned with. Now, last year, Missouri, how did they beat Kentucky? They went with a short passing game and ground and pound, and they controlled the clock over 43 of the 60 minutes here. But I think without Larry Roundtree, it's going to be a little bit tougher. I think Kentucky is so under the radar. I think their defense is salty. Only one team scored about 35 points in regulation last year against them, and that was Bama. I think they're better this year. I think Mark Stoops is going to serve up revenge here for last year's 20-10 loss on a cold heart dish here. I like the Wildcats 30-17.
Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports. Visit him at ParamountSports.com. What's the special you've got going this week? You've always got something special going.
Well, I've never done this before. So this is my 28th year in business. As you know, we've
First
talked
time
about
ever.
before. First time ever. I rate my games from 10 to 50 units, and we've had a lot of success on our biggest plays, 52 and 18, going back 15 years since we changed our unit rating system. I've never released a 40 to 50 unit play in week 1 or week 2 in the NFL. I found a game in the NFL, I think the line is off by a touchdown. One team is under the radar and much better than people would think. Another team, some people think is going to be much improved, and I don't see it. The weather looks good, coaching matchup, injuries, we're checking everything. I think I found an absolute sleeper. So you're looking to jump on it, ParamountSports.com. Use coupon code SAVE100. You can get 3 weeks of my phone service, $297. It will include the 50-unit max wager. You want to get the season, use coupon code SAVE300. Get everything through the Super Bowl. number one service in the country that's documented. You can go to covers.com. You can see me compared to all 40 of the other handicappers. We were number one combined college football in the NFL. ParamountSports.com.
And Lee, let me tell folks, we do checks and balances on this. When you release one of these big plays, a 40 or 50 unit play, I text you over the weekend. You give it to me so that when we come back and talk about this, I can say, this was Lee's play. He told you he's really good on the big plays. You'll own it if it doesn't work out, but it works out more times than not.
I'm going to text it to you right now, what it is. As soon as the game starts on Sunday, feel free. In fact, I want you to send it out, because if it wins, we're going to get a lot of publicity and people are going to want to join me. So that's the way we roll here. So I'll be nervous when this game kicks off, but that's why I do my homework. That's why I watched 88 games. I just finished last night at 2 o'clock watching all the games. The first couple of weeks, it is difficult because there's so many games. The last game I watched was Troy versus